weekly broadcast. I am Sami Abu Saad, Director of Education at T3 Live. Hope you're doing well. We're going to be going over the market. We'll be going over the swing ideas for this week. But before we start, as always, a standard required disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss is for educational purposes only. If you'd like to download a copy of my free ebook, link for that is in the description below. If you also find benefit in today's video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. If you're new to our channel, be sure to subscribe. And if you have any questions for us, email us info@t3live.com. Again, info@t3live.com. Okay, let's get started. Let's turn to the charts and get going. So the first thing I'm going to do is review the market. And in last week's video, I said if we take out the top of the base, I don't know the exact number exactly, but well, here it is. 363, let's just say. I said my bias is going to be all out bullish. We took it out and I felt okay, that was the right call. And of course, Thursday and Friday were highly bearish days, especially if you look at the IWM. And the IWM usually leads the market. That's the Russell 2000. It's a small cap market basically, and it just looks dreadful. It's at the year's low almost, this year's low. But if you just look at the last couple days, wow, that is really, really bearish. The SPY isn't, I mean, the Qs is the most bullish, still holding the 20, though on the hourly chart looks lower, right? The SPY is in between. This is a sell setup, that's bearish on the hourly, and on the weekly looks pretty bad as well. So, barring a move up tomorrow, Monday, barring a nice big move up that fails, that makes this sell setup fail, I'm gonna be bearish. And I'm sorry to say, because I just turned bullish and now I have to turn bearish again. So especially if we take out and close below Friday's low, I mean, that would be confirmation that we're lower, I think. Again, it's difficult because the Qs hasn't done anything wrong. It is still above the 20 on the daily, still above the 20 on the weekly. It's right at the 20 on the weekly. So the Qs really, to turn all out bearish on the Qs, we would have to see a break of this double bottom. Really. And if we do, then I guarantee you almost we're lower to 320 on the Qs. If we break under that weekly pivot low, okay? Then I almost guarantee that we're lower to 320, maybe even more. But until then, on the Qs, really it's not yet bearish. The SPY already broke that pivot, so it is already bearish and looking lower. And the IWM is all out bearish. So the point is, we don't have alignment or harmony across the board yet. But if I had to guess, I think we're headed lower. Okay, I think we're going down. The market is probably lower. So if we close down one more day and we close below Friday's low, then I think, especially on the SPY, then I think we're lower. If we pop, then that gives us another line in the sand. Like I said, if we have, say, a nice green bar here, then we can say, well, that's a pivot. Then, you know, the break of that pivot means almost 100% lower if we break under it. So, but as of right now, you know, barring a move up tomorrow, Monday, I'm gonna probably be bearish. Okay, it's tough. It's not easy. Here's the ideas that I got for you. I have the complete list posted in the description. So these are just a few items that I'm gonna go over, but I have the entire watch list posted in the video description. BRBR triggered already on Wednesday, I think, I think on Wednesday it triggered as a breakout. So it's already an open position in the newsletter, but since it's not too late, it's at all-time high, I figured I would mention it in this week's video as well. Looks higher over Friday's high, stop under Thursday's low. But currently I think my stop is under the base, or right here. Can raise it to 40. So that's a BRBR. The EJH is a base breakout on the daily, base breakout on the hourly. So I like it over $1.60, 61, stop under 126. as an hourly daily base breakout. Fast is an hourly base breakout or a 1-2-3 pattern on the daily chart. 1-2-3 is when you have an igniting bar, that's the igniting bar, and then a narrow range bar that stays in the upper third of the first bar's range. And then if we take out the highs of both bars 1 and 2, that's bar 1, bar 2, if we take them out, that triggers the bullish 1-2-3 pattern. So the entry should be over $61, stop under $59.50 on the FAST. The OM had a big gap. It doesn't really have a setup yet, but if it takes out 376, I'm gonna look to play it long with a stop under Friday's low, which is 318, and target is going to be the declining 20 or that blue line on the hourly chart. Okay, that's the OM. It's similar to the silk, except the silk already has a couple of days, which is how I like to play them. I don't like to play the day after the gap. I like to play at least 2 days later. In this case, the silk long over 770, stop under 690. Looks beautiful, but it needs to take out 770 and hopefully gives us another green bar, which constitutes follow through on the silk. I skipped the relay, or the RELY is a daily buy setup. Looks higher over this bar's high, which is 2633. Stop under 2470. That's the silk. That's the relay. Reminds me of the ANF last week, which worked as a buy setup. Beautiful. And now it's actually rolling over. This could be the top on the ANF because it's up so much. It's not very extended, but it's up a lot and is rolling over on the hourly chart. Looks slower. But the relay buy setup reminds me of the ANF, which worked beautifully. And I didn't do it, unfortunately. SMR is an hourly base breakout. So over the base, stop under it. It's not my favorite, but it looks like it wants to pop. Target is about 670 or so, but it's definitely not my favorite. Here's the bearish ideas, and we got a lot of 1-2-3 plays. The 1-2-3 again is when you have an igniting bar and then a narrow range bar and then a continuation to the downside. That would be a bearish 1-2-3 play. If you have an igniting green bar, a narrow range red bar, or just a doji bar, and then another green bar that takes out the highs of both of the first two bars, that's called a bullish 1-2-3. In this case, we have a lot of bearish 1-2-3s, so the entry for it would be could be under this bar's low, or as I like to do, under the first bar's low, stop up here. But it makes for a large stop on the AMR. It's not one of the ones that I picked. I picked a few ideas for the newsletter for tomorrow and for my own account, obviously. So you have to be a subscriber to know exactly which ones that I picked, and to get the entries, the stops, and the targets. But it only costs $49 for the first month if you want to try it out. The BE short under 1125, stop over 12. It's a daily sell setup, so I like it. BE short. Carvana short 1-2-3 plus a base breakdown on the daily chart under 3290, stop over 3560, and maybe Carvana lower to 25 or so. It has a lot of room to drop. The DHR, so DHR is a little bit tricky, but it's beautiful also. Look how tight that base is, this little base. And I always like it when I have a big base and then under it another small base. That's continuation. So short under the small base, stop above it. But this is highly aggressive, so I would only do it with small size on the DHR. DOCU, it looks like I don't know. DOCU used to be a $350 stock. It's at 40 today, and it's at all-time low. Looks slower. Another 1-2-3 pattern under 39.90 by 40.70 on the DOCU. DVA is more of an hourly base breakdown. Looks pretty good. Under the base, stop above it. Okay, so under the lowest point in the base, stop looks like is over 75. Yep, 74.98, which is 75. EVLV 1-2-3. You know what the entry and the stop is? 360 by 383. I guess I have it twice. The ILMN was one of the better plays that I took recently. I shorted it. I don't know the exact entry, maybe here, stop right there, and then I added to it, but I don't know the exact entries. And I trailed it, and I don't know the exact exit, but this was really nice. Similar to the target, the TGT, they were both breakdowns on the monthly chart, and then the TGT, I don't know the exact entry either, but short, stop, and then trailed it right to this bar's high. So this was 6.5 hours. So whatever you risked, you made 6.5 times that risk, okay, on the TGT. And ILMN was probably slightly higher because I took 2 plays on it, but right now it has another 1, 2, 3. So short under this bar's low, stop above it. It's not my favorite because it already dropped a lot on Thursday, so I would much rather see another doji bar or so, another base basically on the hourly chart. If we can base for a little bit longer, that would be even better on the ILMN. ORC 1, 2, 3. Like it under 729 by 753. And then lastly, PayPal triggered already on Friday, but it's not a very tight base on the daily chart. But look at that monthly chart on PayPal. My goodness. I mean, if that's not a crash, I don't know what is. This was a $310 stock. In fact, maybe even more. Yeah, 310. It's at 55. And tell me this doesn't look lower, like much lower. There's no way this doesn't look lower. Look at PayPal. The same with DOCU, but I think PayPal looks even better because DOCU is at the all-time low. There's support still. PayPal has room to probably this base right here. That's about between $35 to $40. So PayPal looks dreadful. So we have, we definitely have a crash in a lot of names. And now in a lot of the, PayPal was not a small company at all. It was like huge, right? Market cap. But now it looks like we may have another crash in the entire market, including the big names. This week I think will be critical. We'll find out whether the market is lower for the next several weeks or months or not. I think this week is going to be really important. So I'm looking forward. I wish you all the best with your trading this week. I'm Sami Abu Saad with T3 Live. Good trading, everybody. Take care.